Welcome, adventurers, to Probability of Demise, the podcast where critical fumbles meet critical facepalms. Join us as we delve into the darkest dungeons, slay the stupidest gremlins, and roll enough ones to make a beholder weep. Forget epic storylines and heroic deeds. Here we celebrate the chaotic beauty of bad rolls, questionable decisions, and characters with more charisma than sense. We'll be your dungeon masters of disappointment, guiding you through campaigns where the only guaranteed treasure is a mountain of laughter, and maybe some psychic scarring. So grab your Nat 1 dice, strap on your anxiety helmets, and prepare to witness the glorious train wreck that is our D&D journey. Because, in the end, even if your character dies face first into a pile of pudding, at least you'll have the dice god's permission to laugh your ass off. Hello, dear followers, and welcome to this quiet moment of peace and relaxation as we enter upon the death of the party. Welcome to this episode. Hopefully things will go really well. I hope you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you do all three, I swear I will only kill half of them, which is hard because there's three of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in D&D, when you're splitting something in half and it's an odd number, you round down. So
all of them.
Word of the day. That's me. I'd just like to note that I've been trying to meditate before going to bed to help with my sleeping, and you sounded so much like several of the podcast people I've listened to.
I was going to ask if we have an ASMR podcast now, because that's what it...
Yeah. Because they're like, tonight we are going to...
Jess,
anyways.
you should do the entire word of the day in the meditate voice.
I couldn't do it. There's no way. I would try and fail. If you want to stay up all night, I can help with that kind of a podcast. But yeah.
Well, we can be dusk to dawn. You'll be the dusk waker, and I'll be the dawn sleeper.
Ooh, that'll be good.
Join us on the methamphetamine podcast with Jess.
Anywho, back to my segment, because it's mine. Welcome. It is once again the wonderful word of the day, and I am certainly not looking for my D100. That is brought to you by via Jason, who I think got this at Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm. Which we will be going to in a few days, which will be weeks
Maybe
ago.
I'll get another one to go with this one. I'll have to find her a twin. I don't know why I just gendered my D100 as a girl, but apparently I did. So today's wonderful word. Today's
word salad is brought to you by.
My speech impediment coming back.
No, not at all. No. That's not it. That's a hard consonant combination. So
it's the R's. That's what got me sent to speech therapy. Wonderful word of the day, which is taciturn.
Ooh.
Which is a formal word that describes someone who tends to be quiet or who tends to speak infrequently. So they don't speak very often. So none of us when we get together, but us maybe outside in the real world.
Me the rest of the time.
And used in a sentence, the taciturn wizard quietly studied his spellbook, offering no input as the party debated their next moves. Ta-da!
Nice. That's why in music, when like in choral music, if it's saying, okay, this group doesn't sing, it'll say tacit. There's the connection.
Didn't even put those two together.
Beautiful.
Root words are fun.
And as this word leaves our minds to never be used in the rest of this session so that no one gets inspiration, The late afternoon sun begins casting long, eerie shadows across the bustling city of Overton, and our trio of investigators have gathered in the dim light of an alcove in the club that is a second place or a third place for so many undead denizens of the city. They've made decisions. Sir Gregor's already at work. This noble knight, undead warrior, exuding their aura of determination, already mapping out a strategy clearly. Sticky Beak looking daunted and a bit nervous, realizing that they've just promised to go and infiltrate a floating city that is looming closer and closer, that's filled with some mechanized stuff that also destroyed his familiar. And the trio that plans to investigate what has been happening to Cragside Crowd Orphanage and the underdelvings of that floating component of Overton. Your faces etched with thoughts, anticipation, trepidation. You prepare to delve into the heart of this growing Slaad darkness. What are you all up to?
I do not know.
Okay, well, where was the crypt that we went to? Where is it?
It's in the entertainment district.
Okay. All right. So, let me find my map.
I'm gonna guess the orphanage is not in the entertainment district.
No, it's in the Cragside Crowds. The city that Alua's favorite bar / hangout / performance space is.
Okay. Can we see the orphanage from Celia's if we went to Celia's?
You couldn't have seen it from Celia's just because of how the Cragside is kind of just a hodgepodge of interconnected floating components. But it wasn't far. Nothing in the Cragside is really far. Tying together various components into one big cohesive floating monstrosity is kind of what the Cragside is known for, and nothing is far from anything else, although it's quite difficult to find things. The orphanage, unfortunately, is centralized to the Cragside. Any business with the funds wants to have a view, and the center of the Cragside isn't exactly prime territory, and the orphanage is located in that area because chronically underfunded programs continue to exist.
We're still on the same day where Sticky Beak showed up in the middle of the night, right? The day after that?
The day after that, yeah.
Okay, because I showed Sticky Beak after midnight the book that tells a secret a day, right? So I can't use it right now. Okay.
You could choose to take a rest.
What exactly is our plan going to the orphanage? Like, what exactly are we doing?
Trying to figure out who the Slaadi are and maybe kill them? Is that the plan?
I wonder if we... Well, I think you mentioned something about doing an inspection, right? A fake inspection.
Oh, right. I forgot. We got papers from
Sir Gregor.
the dude. So,
Dude.
yeah, from
So
Sir
we're gonna
Gregor
go in,
that says
pretend
we were
like we're
official
inspectors.
city inspectors. Is our plan to shut down the orphanage? Maybe like condemn it so that they have to leave?
Hmm.
I don't know if that solves anything.
The paperwork that Sir Gregor gave you, if you look at it, has you inspecting the undergirdings of the Craigside crowds. The orphanage is the access point to that space.
I guess I'm just a little confused as to. I mean, I guess exactly what we're doing and why.
No, I understand you. I feel like we have this information. I think the issue is that essentially the unsupervised children of under 10 and over 10 are at risk. And so it is our job to somehow save them, or those that are able to be saved, I think, is our goal. Whether that be to extricate them or to try to kill all the Slaad, or I don't know how, but I feel like that is kind of our goal, is to save the kids / figure out where they might be, like where they're, I don't know if it's like a nest or like their centralized gathering point might be, if they're like, see if it's just completely Slaadi, or if there's anybody that's unchanged left.
Mm-hmm. And the
We may not
kids that
go ahead.
Go ahead. You.
I was just gonna say, it might just be like a recon mission. Like there might not be anything for us to do, just the three of us. I think we're trying to assess how far gone things are.
Right. And then the kids that we already met.
I was just going to ask.
They were not.
They're from the academy and under 10. I was going to ask.
Nothing
if
to
you,
do.
like, put a map of Overton and a map of Underton together, would the academy be underneath the orphanage?
Yes.
Thoughts. Okay. Is that something Gus would know, do you think?
100%.
Okay. So I'm going to pass that info on as we walk, that the academy
is probably also infiltrated.
That's probably why they wanted help.
The Craigside floats. It is not tied to the earth except by the big long chains that attach itself over another neighborhood that you all know. Where your parents were recently located. So really, if you thought about it, it's like a 3-layer thing. You have the Craigside chained in place.
So the academy, the Grand Cracker, and then there's like some space in the middle that's like the marshmallow, and then there's
which is the Undercroft.
And then the chain is like the chocolate, and then the top Graham cracker is the floating part.
No.
That hurts and is yet so accurate.
It is not accurate.
It's amazingly accurate.
So, do we want to go via the orphanage, or do we try to go find those kids we were talking to already?
I guess I could try sending one of them a message. Do I have to know a person's name or just what they look like?
You just have to know of them in the appropriate level.
Okay. Whichever was the one that like basically was the last one we spoke to that kind of gave us the lowdown before we told them that they had to run because the cops were coming or the watch was coming. Let me mark that off.
Which was, 3 days ago now in game time, is that right?
Yeah. 3 or 4? Yeah, 3 days. Not long.
Okay, I'm gonna say, this is Alua. We want to help. Where can we find you? We know about the orphanage. How can we help you set everyone free?
It's a bit of a moment before you hear, I don't know what you're talking about. You're going to help us get our academy back opened? But what's happened at the orphanage? That's where my sister... And then it kind of cuts off. There was a lot of ums and ahs all mixed into there, and you can tell that their kind of thing was cut off. And then as you are about to do whatever you're about to do, you hear it in your head again. Sorry. Disorganized. Shit. Where can we meet you? Oh, fuck. Shit. No. Damn. It just cuts off again after a lot of stumbling. Like they had a moment of trying to be organized and then they fell apart. But you can reply to that.
I'm asking you, would I be able to understand where a good place to meet that would be accessible for them?
I don't know. It's like what you think you would have known, or like, would you suggest Celia's?
Yeah, I guess.
Some other place? I don't know.
Meet at Celia's in 1 hour. The orphanage has been taken over by creatures who...
Should we say that to a child whose sister is at the orphanage?
Them's the breaks.
It's head.
Creatures who impersonate others. We want to save anyone who is left.
P.S. Don't look under your bed. Monsters are real.
I don't remember how old these kids were. I thought they were like teens.
Yeah, I think they're like young teens.
Yeah,
Young,
preteen.
Teens. Just a mix.
No, preteen is like 11 or 12.
Yeah. This is young teens, not actually preteens. Preteens would be... Honestly, preteens would be what you've seen of the messengers.
Right.
Okay, so I guess you're off to Celia's.
As we're walking, I'm going to send one more message to Celia.
Okay.
Hey, friend. Me and my friends need a private place to meet. Can you clear out the bar in an hour? I will cover losses.
You just hear, all right, folks, closing up, small emergency. And you can hear just the like ongoing, like probably somebody queried her about something and she just responds to that. Oh, no, we'll cover your professional fees next time. Don't worry about your paintings. We'll take care of. Actually, let's make sure we pack those up. I don't know exactly. And then she cuts off eventually as she's clearly not responding to you, but it's just like you're hearing the other end of the phone conversation of somebody who just doesn't know what to do with a sent message of that nature.
Yeah.
Okay. The three of you show up to Cecilia's Sundries by the seaside, selling seashells.
No regrets.
No regrets.
And you see that there's a lineup of 3 kids. And they're just waiting at the door. And Serafina, you realize that one of them has been holding a few crystals in place, and they're just all staring down at the crystals together. And the one that's holding the crystal says, oh, she's getting really, really close. She's almost here. Oh, shit. And they look up and they see you.
I just wave. Hi.
Hi. I wasn't tracking you or anything, and you can see like the crystals are kind of being taken apart really quickly and shoved into pockets.
Nope.
They won't let us in, so I don't think we can meet here. And we probably need to meet really soon, and a couple of them look very worried.
She closed for us. You can head in.
Oh, she yelled.
Maybe you should go first.
Of course. I head in.
You see, Celia. Okay, space is yours. Should I... What's happening? Are you okay? Is this like the time before?
The time before.
That's right. That wasn't you. That was Oksana. And so I'll go get in touch with Oksana. We can set things up and get things moving again on...
Celia, one moment, and I just ask, I go, can you wait outside?
The 3 kids have not walked in, and then you have Gus and
these two.
Serafina.
Like, so if, can I have a moment alone with Cecilia?
Okay.
I just shut the door.
Did I not take it? I thought I took it. Son of a bitch. Oh, I did take it. Okay. Okay. Can I... Do you trust me?
Yes, I mean...
Okay, I'm going to cast Zone of Truth.
Okay, and you can feel that she's accepted the spell. Not that she had a chance anyways, but...
So here's the deal. Do you know what a Slaad is?
No.
It's a creature of chaos. They are powerful and they are parasitic. And the way they reproduce is they infect hosts with a tadpole, which eventually emerges from the host, killing it, and they assume the form of that host.
You can see the horrified expression, and she reaches back behind the bar and pulls something out. You can hear a sharp metal sound. It doesn't look like this, does it? And she holds up a metal disc with multiple metal tentacles coming off of it and a huge rent in it where one of her weapons clearly destroyed the inner workings of this mechanical creature.
No, right?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not a slot.
No, they look more like giant frogs. But
Well,
that
we've had
might
an infestation of these. They keep tearing things up, and she tosses
so
it
that
back.
no.
on the floor.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, okay. Follow up. Don't use any more of the messengers from the orphanage.
But I mean, those kids, they need the money.
The orphanage has been taken over and infiltrated
By these amphibious creatures that you described.
Also, a high number of the Watch, the Ascended, and the Hollow Council.
So our city's doomed.
Not yet. And
I mean, I've been saying the Crackside should break free and just go do its own thing. Maybe this is the chance.
That's where everything is centrally located. That's the orphanages.
You mean our orphanage? Oh. Oh no.
Now you understand why I had to test you. Your proximity. Everything is centralized here. But there's one more thing.
Oh, okay. What else could there be?
Oksana is gone. I don't know when.
She left?
You're
telling me she left?
No, she was one of the... Well...
No. You're telling me she left. You're not telling me she left.
I was there. I watched her change. And I watched it die.
Oh.
So, I need you to tell me what meeting or what it was that she did, or I at that time, I don't even know. Was the last time, whatever meeting you're talking about, was that before or after Grand was murdered? Because...
It was far before, but... And she's got the tears falling. It was when you all made yourselves who you are. She came in with that same expression. And that was the moment we were gonna go and set the council on fire. We were prepared for anything, and somehow things worked out. You and Oksana built a house and a community, and you changed society.
I did promise her that I would take care of our sisters and that I would continue her legacy. So it is not the end of Sincere House, not by a long shot. But right now, we need to figure out what to do or how to help these kids, if there are any kids left. The kids outside, who are with us, by the way. And I kind of like start to walk over to the door, and I open it to let everybody in. I go,
I'll be right back. I need a chance to put myself together.
okay. I'm going to keep the zone of truth up for as long as I can.
Oh, yeah. 100%. So Celia walks back into the kitchen area, staff area.
To get her machine gun.
She's going postal. Three young mages, magi hopeful, come in with Gus and Seraphina. And unless you all were going to talk about anything out there, I feel like we can just move that forward. Mostly they were awkwardly kicking stones and said, are we going to get started? Because we kind of need to get started. She's here. Let's go. We really gotta hurry.
Why are you in such a rush? And I'll go with them.
Well, and the other two kind of walk up with Gus, and they hold back a little bit as Gus kind of ends up being amongst the first to greet you, Alua, and Seraphina. You're here. Well, I shared what she said. With the pretty, and then I shared what she said, and then my sister is there, but it's also a bunch of other people's, and so 12-ish of our friends went to go deal with things directly.
Do I hear this?
I don't know, Seraphina. Do you usher them quickly enough that they hear that Alua overhears this?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, yeah, then sure, Alua.
And I say, wait, who went ahead now?
Yeah.
To the orphanage.
We couldn't stop them. They were freaking out. I'm freaking out.
And you didn't... Okay. I know you can message. You need to message them right now and tell them they need to hold off.
Out. That's why I was using the ritual.
All right. I guess we're going.
Now, I'm going to turn to the kids and I go, okay, here's the deal. These things are strong, and they're going to look like people you know. Do any of you follow a god?
You can see that one of them is kind of clutching something really quickly as you said that. Sort of. Maybe.
Holy magic hurts them, and they are prone to chaos. So if you run into someone that you know, you can ask them, or you can try to test them. But the best way to figure out is they only have memories for as long as they've taken over a person. So think of if you've known them long enough, think of a memory from years ago, and if they make
I can see the first of the kids nodding his head.
Yes, make something up so that something is wrong, that the other person would be like, no, that's not how it happened. You know what I mean? But if it's the wrong, if they're a Slaad, they won't know.
Do their tattoos still work? And you can see them hold up and rub a place where you can see that at some point there was a tattoo of the messengers, one of the iridescent, bioluminescent tattoos.
I don't actually
faded.
know. I don't know what was the purpose of the tattoos.
Was how you knew that they were actually truly a messenger. Like how when I stopped being a messenger, the magic faded.
I'm not sure. I think the way that they assume another's form is through a sort of polymorph. So if
Okay,
they can
that wouldn't work with the spell. They could,
okay.
So okay, just and then you can see the other two conferring. Like, yeah,
That's
I
helpful
don't think
for
that
us
works
to
with the
know.
spell.
Okay. All right. So that's another way. But if you run into any adults, I would just avoid them if you can. The other thing is they can see very well in the dark. They can see very well in the dark, so you don't try to blind them. It doesn't do anything. And I'd look to Gus and Seraphine. I go, is there anything else that I'm missing that you can think of? Oh, they don't, they aren't very, they're very resistant to elemental magic.
You see one of them brighten up. It's like, we hadn't gotten to elemental magic yet.
Okay. So keep that in mind. The one that we saw was green and through fire, but I don't know the extent of, I think there's 2 other colors, but I don't know what their skills are.
We were learning how to do, but they already ran ahead. We have a way to stop that, maybe.
Okay. Is the sending stone that somebody gave us a sending stone at some point, right?
Yes.
Does that only go to the person with the stone?
Yeah, it's stone to stone. It's similar to the earbuds.
Got it.
The earworms only work to the other earworms that are attuned.
Got it. Okay.
So the 3 earworms that you all have, I think Gus put his in.
I think they're all in.
I don't know. You two said that you were creeped out and you wouldn't do it, so I don't think
Yeah, so if Gus doesn't have it in.
I was creeped out because I was uncomfortable with the idea of it eating my brain. But if we had agreed that it was going to be something that we included in our like nightly ritual of feeding them, and it wasn't going to be a task heavy thing, then
definitely not
okay.
task heavy.
Then it's
something that a bunch of ADHD people have to remember every time we play. That's the problem?
Like, you expect me to remember that you haven't fed your
exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it's that. So that's okay.
Yeah.
In which case, yes,
there's a lot of things in this game that you can just do that too. FYI, audience, talk to your DM, but automate. It's just a subscript that runs in the background. You don't have to do the work.
That was my whole thing. Like, it's, there's a reason that as cute as Tamagotchis are, I really, 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 really can't have one for that exact reason. But, okay. So, and I look at the other 2 besides the one that I was talking to. Neither of you know sending either?
No, I mean, he was advanced.
Wait.
You can see the first one looks pretty proud of it, but also really, really depressed about their situation. I mean, Are any of them the one?
Sleep? No. Were any of them with you when you tried to nab us?
I don't remember. I'm sure it was. They seem to be conferring, but they're like, I don't know who you remember. And then the one that seems to be the most knowledgeable, but it's out of thoughts. I don't know if we really hung out long enough. I mean, I talked with you all the most, but I don't know if you would be able to pick up unless yours is different.
I mean,
we should just go.
I'm waiting for Celia. Celia said to wait. Can I use message in the direction that she went?
Oh, the copper message? Yeah. Anytime.
Hey, lady.
So good news, bad news. or maybe just not any good news. The kids that are with us, they shared what I told them with their other classmates at the academy, and a lot of them have siblings at the orphanage, and there's now about 12 of them who went ahead and are attacking or going to the orphanage. So we need to move soon. These kids know how to differentiate between someone who is and isn't a Slaad. I will catch you up, but how much more time do you need? We need to leave.
Will not get used to that, she says, coming around the corner. Ever in my life, you were in my head. That is creepy and terrible. And as she's saying, each statement is punctuated as she puts down a different bit of material. And right in front of you, Gus, she puts down a map that's kind of folded multiple times over. In front of you, Seraphina, she puts down a scroll. And in front of you, Ulua, she puts down what looks like a potion of some sort. When it's shoved down, it kind of swirls for a moment, and then it seems to slow itself in the swirl before picking up speed again and becoming more potion-like. And then staring at the three young people, she goes, "And you three are wearing these." And she begins putting some necklaces over the three younger folks' heads. "If you're going anywhere with these crazy, lovely people, let's go."
And I just I grab Celia's forearm and I go, "Thank you. You don't have to do this, but thank you."
She lifts up her arm and you can see what was left of a bioluminescent tattoo. "I'm raised right. We have to fix this."
So, and I start to explain to her as we leave about how the kids figured out that the tattoo, and I explain all the ways to,
Yeah.
I put the map
It's really
in my
interesting
bag.
because you're traveling with 4 people whose bioluminescent tattoo has faded because they are no longer members of that messenger group that they all had as young people. But you head off, and Gus, you have a map of the underside of Cragside Crowds. Seraphina, you have a scroll of lesser restoration.
Ooh,
And Ulua, you have a potion of slowed time.
Ooh.
Gus, that map has certain areas highlighted that were used by the messengers. And I think from your knowledge as a member of the Watch, nobody knows. Like, this map is highly illicit for you to have because the messengers do not share this.
Okay.
Honestly, for Celia to have it is kind of the height of somebody snuck something they shouldn't have. Okay.
All right. Are we at the orphanage?
Yes. At the orphanage's gates.
I'm going to.
Crossed a bunch of overhangs and underpasses to get there, but you're here.
Is there like a guard or like are the gates open?
Roll a perception check.
13.
Nestled in this space, it's a place where if it was lit from the inside, you would see a quaint 2-story building. A warm glow would probably be coming from inside. It looks like a place that should be really happy, but the windows are dark. The grounds are empty of people. You can hear the sound of glass breaking and of wood splintering. There does not appear to be anyone on guard outside.
And the gate is closed?
They are closed, but they're
I'm going to push them to see if they're locked.
just swing wide open, a little bit of a creak of unoiled hinges.
As we get closer, I'm just gonna like pull out a handful of copper and I look to the kids and I go, "Do any of you know message?"
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I remember it. It's really easy. And you can see one of them really thinking hard, and then the other one slaps the back of their head. It's like, pull out your copper bar, you idiot! And they pull out a little tiny piece of copper themselves and go like, "Oh yeah, I know this."
Okay, try to get in touch with your friends. If they're inside, wherever you just heard that crashing from.
So they start aiming the copper all around, and you can see them focusing and concentrating.
Oh no! I popped off my pop filter.
But you can see them trying their best to try to engage, and every time they're not the best at this, and they're not subtle. So every time it's like, "Hello, Fred, hello, Fred, Janie, Sammy,
Ellen,
hello, hi."
I'm just going to like go to the side, like, and I'm just going to like start striding for the front door.
Yeah. You walk up to the front door. You can see that as you get closer, you can see through the front door. It is actually open, swinging a little loosely, and you can see where there probably was. There probably was a main
Sweet
hall.
Orphanage.
There's this spacious room, and there's some colorful tapestries. Some of them have been ripped off though, and just kind of pooled on the ground. There's a fireplace. It looks like this was probably like a combination room where the orphans and the messengers and their caregivers lived, ate, socialized, all the things. There's some toys for very young children scattered about. And then just a bunch of books that look like they're worn but well cared for and currently torn up all over the place. And there, tearing through the space, is a disc-shaped machine-like creature that is ripping books out of a bookshelf. And as you watch, you hear it grab something that's squishy sounding, and then you hear a high pitch as you see its mechanical arm squeeze and kill this small tadpole-ish salamander-esque creature before the roaring robot turns to the next shelf and begins doing the same procedure of just tearing through it, hunting for something.
Does it look like the thing that Celia had?
It looks like that thing, but without the horrible breakage and
Working order?
working order, yeah.
And I just kind of like hold out my arm to Celia and I go, "It's killing them."
Hello, Slaad getting machine.
Seeing and
We
hearing
are
you,
your friends.
whirls around. You can see that there's this, especially Seraphina for you can see that there's this sort of attenuation of its ocular space as it focuses on Gus. And you all hear this mechanical buzzing.
I prep Dispel Magic.
I would like to cast a thing that I have. Comprehend languages on myself.
As you cast Comprehend Languages, give me a hot second here to make sure this is actually doable.
Literal meaning of any spoken language you hear. And you can read anything as long as I'm touching the surface it's written on. Does not decode secret messages or glyphs such as arcane sigils. That isn't part of a written language.
I think you hear, state your nature and your confirmation to the whole.
My name is Gus, and I am an investigator, and I'm here to investigate the Slaadi infestation of this orphanage. And these are my associates.
You do not conform.
Conform to what?
Please restate purpose and confirmation.
I am here to investigate the Slaadi infestation of this building.
Do you restore order?
Yes?
Temporary allowances shall be maintained. You may proceed.
Are you from the flying city that's approaching us?
Your chaos does not make sense to me. Please state your confirmation.
What do you mean? Define confirmation.
You are here to establish order.
Yes.
Follow through with your command.
Very well. Continue your slaughter of Slaadi related beings.
Your chaos has been evaluated. We will rectify after the initial problems are resolved.
Cool. I'm just gonna walk past it and into the building looking for anyone.
It kind of pauses for a moment, turns and looks at you, Alua, Seraphina, Celia, the three kids. Makes more buzzing noises that it's been making while Gus was making noises and stuff and talking to it. And then you hear a little squeak and a bit of movement in the further part of the room, and it spins around so quick that it almost can't be seen and zips over there, and it just, one of its mechanical arms is stabbed through yet another small tadpole creature.
Wait, did we determine if the people around us, when we are using comprehend languages, can they understand what I was saying?
They understood you.
Okay.
Comprehend languages means that everybody can understand Gus, and Gus can understand everybody. But you can't understand the person that or the creature that Gus was talking to.
So we heard his side of the conversation,
Yeah.
but not the machines.
Yeah.
Got it.
It wants to know if we're here to restore order. I told it yes.
I mean, if killing Slaad restores order, then yes.
That's what I thought.
All right.
So,
let's
I told
leave
it to go about
leave
its business, and we'll go about restoring order, I guess.
This place, it must be overrun.
I think I'm starting to understand what's happening with the floating city. I have a theory now, but this isn't the time.
You have a theory?
It's a demon. Dancing demon. Wait, no, something isn't right there.
So the three of you, plus Celia and the three kids, head deeper into the orphanage. They seem to know their way around and are able to look around locations. They're very quickly looking very confused as you continue your explorations. Yes, Seraphina.
Was I around when
It's just like
was I there
Kale
when
left out now.
Cecilia was showing the broken thing to Alua?
No,
you
that
guys weren't in
was-
yet.
Okay. In that case, is everyone actively leaving the room that this thing is in?
Yes, I'm guessing so. You're trying to get to the problems. Are you having tinkering issues?
Yes.
Tinkering. I think it's tinkering impulse control.
I'm just gonna yell up to the front because for some reason I feel like I'm towards the back, and just be like, there's like a whole thing happening, and it's destroying tadpoles.
Yet we know. We're
I think I need to look at it.
he just had a whole on conversation with it. It is intelligent, it is sentient, it is on a mission, my guess is.
I think
We
we'll
don't
have
know that
more opportunities to talk to them. I think that's from the city that's coming.
and I think that if you try to mess with it, it's going to attack you if you try to stop it from doing its goal. So maybe we look at the shiny robot later, love.
Okay.
For what it's worth, Celia has one that maybe you could try to fix up.
Here?
No, back at the... Not right now. We're a little busy.
Right now we went to where our investigator.
Little busy saving the universe here.
I could possibly make more of them.
Once
Make
we
it
know
do
that,
better.
But once we know that it's friendly and not also trying to not just momentarily not trying to kill us because we are also killing Slaad.
I could make it friendly.
Maybe.
Tell it to be friendly.
Maybe. Now is not the time to try to find out.
I
don't think so.
And start to walk whatever direction everyone was going.
If it's still there and we come out this way and we make it out of this alive, sweetie, I promise I will let you tinker with the robot. You have my word, okay? And I just grab her face and I like smooch her on the lips.
Absolute.
But right now,
distraction. Roll for attention, say.
I just.
but right now we need to save those kids. Okay.
Okay, kids.
Okay.
Save the kids, and I just start marching. I'm like, kids, save the kids. Just bright, whatever a blushing green tiefling looks like.
Congrats on having ridiculously high persuasion, Gus. I looked at your persuasion modifier. I was like, this thing can't roll against that. I was ready to have you roll a persuasion roll, and I was like, no, this is...
It's only a +4. I could have rolled a 2, and then it... You never know.
Yeah, this has a negative charisma. Its
Oh,
wisdom is 0.
buddy. Oh, buddy.
It's like not even going to happen. I was like, nope. It can't insight check against this. It can't. It's just going to trust what Gus said. Gus did nothing to trip it up, truly. This is totally Gus won.
I'm gonna go. We're going upstairs, downstairs? Like, what are the options here?
There is an upstairs. You can go up, and then there is the kitchen area. You do have that map. And with that map, you can see that there's a whole underground complex underneath the actual orphanage itself.
I would like to listen for the breakage of noises and things, and where that's coming from.
You did hear it when the robot was smashing things in that main room, but listening carefully to see if there's any additional noises, go ahead and roll a perception check.
15.
Yeah, with a 15, you can tell that there's additional sounds. They're not coming from upstairs. They're coming from deeper below.
Okay.
I thought you said ice cream. When he was saying 15, I thought he went ice cream. I was like,
yes, Gus rolled ice cream.
Ice cream.
Exactly where they're coming from is not clear to you, but based on the map that you have and the 3 young mages in training, you know where to go. They're going to usher you towards this entrance through the pantry of the kitchen.
Okay.
You all head to the pantry, and there's the door.
The door, Charlie.
Damn it. I was trying really hard not to say it.
It is open, and the sounds are magnified now. You can hear that there's a lot happening down below. You can hear the banging of metal, the scraping of different sounds. You can hear voices. Some of them are screaming in fear. Some are sounding panicked but trying to calm something down. You hear the sound of the Slaadi, like you heard before, the heavy vocalizations that they make in their native language are a little bit deeper and more coarse, but you can hear that there's communication happening down, as well as the omnipresent sound, buzzing sound of that same sort as the machine that you just saw. Gus, since you still have comprehend languages up, you're able to make out it's pandemonium down there. Out of sight, around the corner somewhere is full-on battle.
That's my brain like this. It was pandemonium. The Jenkins house was right over our head.
Question. How long does comprehend languages last?
1 hour.
So does that mean you can hear what they're yelling? And understand what they're yelling? Ooh, that's useful.
What are they yelling, Rory? Like, oh shit, it's using a buzzsaw and cutting my head off. Run.
Oh god, we're all gonna die.
From the Slaadi, you hear, "Kill them all! Enemies of chaos! Their owner is a prison, break free! Let them embrace the void! Bring the children, let the universe burn!" Various versions of that. From the Modron, you hear, "Maintain formation, focus on target, contain chaos, additionals are considered chaos, restore order." And then you hear another voice that's a little bit more nuanced saying, "Their madness is a threat to all, eliminate all."
I'm going to run down the stairs. I'm going to fling open my papers from Sir Gregory. Gregory, is that it? Gregor. And I'm going to hold him up to the nearest robot and be like, "I'm with the Freemasons building inspectors. And me and my associates are here to restore order by eliminating Slaadi and not eliminating anyone that's not Slaadi. We are here to preserve the lives and order of all the Onslaught folks in this room and building."
You immediately get partial conformation approved, secondary objective invalid.
So you're going to help us kill the Slaadi and help us save everyone else?
You can see because you're now moved down further and you're like in the space where things are engaged, and this one Modron has turned to face you, and you can see that it was going to just attack, protecting the flank of its team. There is a pitched battle between the Slaadi and the Modron forces, and you can see that within a cage of magic there are several of the young apprentice wizards, mages, and young children. They have put themselves within a force cage. High-level, powerful magic. But you know it only lasts for an hour, and they've placed themselves in an inescapable space. The Modron currently are only attacking the available targets, which are the Slaadi. But without fail, they consistently and repeatedly continue to test the force cage to see if it's still stopping them from entering. So you can tell that there's something going along with this. And with that kind of layout, just roll an insight check.
Anybody?
Gus is the only one who's down there so far.
I mean, I would. Okay.
Unless
You
guys
can dart
ran
after him in a
me.
second, but
Yeah.
he ran
Okay,
down
okay.
like doing the whole like
Insight.
this is
Got it.
yeah.
Insight is dirty 20.
Ooh, dirty 20. I say with the dirty 20, you were uneasy with the first mechanical creature up above and what it really meant. These things seem just as dedicated to their order, with quotes around that, as the Slaadi have been in the literature that you read, dedicated to chaos. And looking at and hearing how they're speaking, it sounds more like they will accept your help in the short term and then plan to make you conform to order as well. And by the definition of what's happening here and what you're seeing, order for unordered creatures is death.
Okay. I'm gonna just look at the robot and be like, our version of order is to follow our laws. The Slaadi are in violation of our laws. The other people here are not. So can we align on a goal to eliminate the Slaadi together?
Give me a hot second here. All right, you forced me to create a roll table. So I need you to roll a persuasion check. A failure, an absolute failure, would be a 1 through 5, which I know you're just not capable of. Minimal success would be a 6 through 10, and you'll get its interest, but it's not going to trust you. It's not going to accept your help. 11 through 15, you might be able to sway it slightly, but just keep in mind that that's a very tenuous thing. 16 through 20, you might get a little bit more of that, but you got to roll really high.
Wait, where'd it go there? 13 plus 4.
13 plus your persuasion?
Plus 4, 17.
17, okay. So you can tell in this moment, in this pitched battle, where you can see that there's a slight advantage to the Slaadi in this moment. Your words seem to resonate with the Modron temporarily. And you can see the mechanical creature reconsider its stance a bit. And it says to you, for long-term order, short-term chaos is sustained.
Sounds good, buddy.
Is point if I come down the stairs?
At that point, Alua and Seraphina, you catch up to Gus. Cecilia right on your heels, and the kids not coming down yet, building up their courage. Remember, they're going to mage school, not night school.
Right. As I get down there, I'm going to say, that's a lot of. What's the?
Yeah, you can just see that there are a lot of red and blue-skinned Slaadi here, and I would like Alua, since you're looking at the chaos rather than the close Modron, I would like for you to roll a perception check.
Perception.
Ooh. Not great. 9.
9.
You can see that there's some disorder between the red and blue Slaadi, but every time there's a quick bark from somewhere deeper in the darkness that keeps them focused on fighting the robotics. So there's something somewhere directing their acts.
Okay.
Amongst the metallic creatures, there's some pretty simple designs. The one that Gus spoke with didn't seem to have any appendages, and it seemed to have a lot of additional ocular spots. Clearly some sort of specialized task that it has. You can see others that have more armor-oriented appendages, and others that have much more weaponry-oriented appendages, and a few that have kind of a combination of both. But you can see that those ones are not as effective against the pure insanity of how the Slaadi are attacking. The Slaadi that you fought, the green one, seemed to be retreating more than anything else. And in this situation, there is claw attacks, biting. There's a lot of just crazy moves that, you know, it's the type of stuff you would expect from an enraged barbarian, not a group of creatures fighting a well-organized foe. Yet still the Modron seem to be getting pushed back a bit.
Do I see the kids in the cage?
Yes, you can see that the young folk are in a force cage, and there's one who's seeming to hold the spell together. And they're sweating profusely. Everybody in the force cage looks terrified. The younger children in the force cage look like they're just pure exhausted.
Okay. I'm going to use message, and I'm going to look back up, and I go, your friends need your help. You need to come down here, and you need to help them out and test them. If there's anybody who doesn't pass the test, try to keep them away from the others. I don't know how, but maybe ask them to stay and help and send the others on or something. But we need you now.
You hear back, we're talking to a couple of them. Finally caught them, like we can hear them now. And you can see that in the force cage, as that's being shared, there's one of the older kids is holding a bit of something and pointing it up towards where the kids are.
I'm just going to do it one more time and say, there's another one of them down here trying to hold a force cage, and I don't know how much longer he'll last.
Finally, one of the faces peeked down, pale and afraid. It says, we can't get through that. And they're pointing, and you can see that the pitch battle is really just blocking anybody's ability to cross over to where the force cage is located.
Okay. I'm going to look at Gus and Seraphina and Celia and say, you ready?
Ready. We don't know they're called Modron yet, right? Like, these fellows are on our side for now.
Yep, you convinced them that you weren't a threat to order yet.
Okay. I'm going to take one last moment to message up to them. I'm going to try to clear the way. And then I'm going to cast Cloud of Daggers directly between where we are at, like, the bottom of the entrance and the force cage, so that if things want to get out of it, they have to move out of the way.
Okay, I need you to roll initiative because you've just joined initiative order.
Yep. Can I, as a free action, as I go to Gus, can I say, can you tell them to move? Oh no, I just threw my die. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Please tell your friends to move out of that space right there.
Ooh, not bad.
The roll a save
At
for this
all.
creature to decide if it does that or not.
Ooh. I don't remember what I have.
A silent consultation occurs.
I give
Gus,
lucky
and
kisses.
I don't remember what gives me a high initiative now, but
My kiss.
You can see that area clears of the Modron, and the one that's looking at you. I hope you are prepared.
Like
You've
I do
opened our line.
it, go.
Okay, and my initiative is 27.
Damn, girl.
How the heck are you at psycho?
Well, we're at
Battle
plus
bard at
5.
this point.
We're at plus 5, and I have alert, which is a plus 5 bonus.
I'm also getting in this. You want me to roll
And
initiative?
Gus, you are now officially in as well.
Okay, my initiative is 21.
Okay, you are now in combat.
Quick question. Needing
Serafina.
small bit of clarification. So, the cage is holding the kids,
Yes. They are
and there are
casting
now
a spell
daggers.
that
I think the plan is so that everybody will scatter out of the daggers, and she'll drop the daggers, and the kids can drop the cage and run. I think is the thinking right now.
Great.
You're clearing the way.
Got it. Understood.
So, casting Cloud of Daggers at the 4th level. Of course. 16 points of damage if they start or if they end their turn.
Yeah.
No, if they
If they end their turn in the
or if it starts its turn there. Which so if anybody that's in there now will take 16
everything in
damage.
now is going to get smacked. Yeah.
Yes,
Um,
not a ton, but
yeah, no
Something.
worries.
cue Jason's fun graphic.
So Ulua,
Yeah.
you cast this spell. The Modron have moved out of the way just before you've cast the spell. So we're going to start on your turn having cast the spell.
Okay.
That would leave you with still movement and a bonus action if you would like to use any of that.
I don't remember what my bonus actions are really limited.
And meanwhile, Serafina, you have not engaged yet in any way, so you can feel free to interject at any point, but then you will become part of turn order.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna point at Gus. I'm gonna cast Bardic Inspiration. Go, you got this. Give him Bardic Inspiration.
Still eight?
Expiration. Yes, still 8.
Okay, and you're not moving?
Is there room for me to move so that the Cloud of Daggers is between? So if I'm looking at the Cloud of Daggers, the Force Cage is to my right and the Slaughter on the other side?
No,
Or is it right in the middle?
it's all right in the middle. There's the Slaad. We're very much trying to. I think.
Okay.
I think I can share this without giving anything that's untoward.
Okay.
The Slaad were very much trying to keep their resource, the kids, contained. And then I think you can kind of anticipate the trickle of events. The Modron arrived and began wiping out or trying to wipe out the Slaad, and the Slaad have rallied as a defensive situation. At the same time or near to it, the kids began to, or the older kids, the mages, began to arrive, and seeing the situation went to protect their younger siblings in some cases probably, but also just the kids that they probably grew up with or were even taking care of when they were young. They took care of some of these younger kids at different points, being members of the same orphanage. So that protective instinct guided at least one or two to setting up the force cage.
Okay. So I think
it's all a mess of activity.
Okay.
And when you've cast this Cloud of Daggers, you are, based on your intent, trying to create a little pathway that as soon as you drop the Cloud of Daggers, those kids that are in the force cage, if they can drop the force cage, could run through.
Okay. I think what I would like to do then is I guess I'm splitting the group. I'm going to go basically directly to my left, however far I can, based on whatever space is available. So that way, if the Slaad that as they're moving out, they come to, like at a diagonal and not towards my group. So I will move 30 feet in a straight line to my left, or as however far there is before I run into
25 feet that direction.
Okay.
Yeah. Before the wall will start to curve.
Okay.
And go into the room. So if you want to stay on the outskirts, you would stop before the curve.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I can get to where I'm either.
You're trying to create a secondary source for the Slaadi to run.
Yeah, I'm trying to make myself a target. Yeah. Stupid idea, but I guess as far as I can go and not get attacked, essentially, not be within like striking range.
Yeah. So far, you're not within striking range.
Okay.
The Modron phalanx that broke when asked to break to create that space, for a moment it did look like it was going to falter, but with the cloud of daggers there's kind of that bolster to it. They haven't broke the line, so they're still maintaining their order and their lines of battle.
Okay.
So it's very chaotic in the sense that there's a lot of battle happening, and the Slaadi are just insane how they fight. But you are still within a protected area. Should the Modron on this side fall, the Slaadi would have a direct line that are on this side, direct line to getting to you. But right now, everything's okay. Speaking of that, as your turn ends, the Slaadi don't even flinch with the cloud of daggers. They seem to rush into it, screaming in glee, and begin attacking the Modron on either side of it, creating a situation where the Modron's flank has been exposed in some ways, but there's now kind of a pathway, Gus, that you can see. But it's a pathway bordered by Slaadi, not bordered by your temporary allies. And with that, you see some of the Modron just ripped to shreds as these massive salamander-esque creatures rip into the side where the defensive formation, the defensive type robotic creations are not able to defend in this moment of quick chaos. But just as quickly, you can see that the Modron are trying to reform their line. Gus, it is your turn.
Okay, so basically in front of us, there is a line of Modron, or there's a cloud of daggers. On one side of that, both sides of that, there's Modron.
So you have the cloud of daggers that sits central. At the edges of that cloud of daggers, getting ripped up by the cloud of daggers because they're these crazed monstrosities, are the Slaadi that are trying to rip into the Modron. They use that opening created where there weren't the Modron shields to kind of get into that line of space and begin ripping into the Modron. The Modron have responded, and they're also attacking, but it's kind of just this temporary stalemate of battle. And then just beyond that, you can see the force cage. You can see a couple of Modron that had been engaged with testing the force cage again and again and again have turned and have fallen in behind the Slaadi. In some ways, it looks like this is either going to be a pincer attack by the Modron at some point, if they can hold their lines and crush the Slaadi between them, or the Slaadi are going to just swarm outside of this, depending on what the situation is. I think that's where your tactical mind as a former watch investigator goes.
Okay, so cloud of daggers, Modron on either side, Slaad attacking those Modron from the front and from inside the cloud of daggers.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to drop a wall of light across all the Slaad, like as close to the Modron as I can get without them being in it. To just drop it like across the entire room, to hit all of the Slaad at once.
Beautiful. I just love this picture of this.
And my verbal is going to be Starlight, Starbright, motherfucker. And then I'm going to drop my big rainbow wall.
This brilliant rainbow wall erupts into being, ripping through the Slaadi lines, bringing further chaos to an already chaotic creature set.
Con 16 is the saving throw.
Let me see. What is the type of magic this is?
It is Radiant.
Cool. How much damage?
8. That is 16 or half if they fail the... 16 damage or half, or 8 if they...
Yeah, it's just ripping
succeed on
up
the saving throw.
this line of Slaadi. The blue ones seem to fall more quickly than the red ones in this moment.
Excuse me.
You also hear in Modron, reasonable solution for an inadequate being.
I just be like, thanks, bro.
Any bonus action or movement?
Probably not. I'm just gonna stay like behind the Modron line, a cloud of daggers next to a low, I guess, and then bonus action will be nothing because I do not have any. I'm done.
Seraphina, you've held back so far, and as you're holding back, you just watch as Celia runs up like some strange barbarian berserker herself, screaming as she tosses broken bottle tops into the fray like daggers. And you see Slaadi getting hit one after another as she tosses just fragments of bar glass. And you hear the chink as she steps forward, and she's just got this big bag full of all the broken bottles, and she just took the recycling with her.
That's amazing.
And she's just using, because she is technically classed as a barbarian who has the bar brawler feat, as well as a few other feats that are all oriented around picking up random crap and throwing it.
That's so good.
So you just see this whole mess of glass and stuff, and as that mass of Cecilia passes by you, still maintaining her distance, not getting directly involved, she's not getting into melee range of anything. One of the kids comes back behind you, Seraphina, the ones that had joined you all, and she says, "Okay, I think I know what you're gonna do, but it's gonna be scary. Tell me when, and I got something that might help."
I'm just so lost by all of this. This like
the kid
force
comes up to your other side, Seraphina. She's, "Okay, tell me when to tell them to run and to drop. I think we understand that you want them to just like run through that little gap."
Do I see what little gap they're talking about?
You see where the cloud of daggers is, and that's where they're nodding towards. As soon as they're looking to you for guidance about when they're supposed to make their run.
Oh my god, I have literally no idea. Is this like force cage, like a literal cage? Like there's like a ceiling and like all surrounding, or?
Yeah, it's not like a ceiling, but it's a magical protection.
It's like an impenetrable box. Asher had that too.
It's just
Okay.
an
Like a box.
immobile, invisible. I mean, you can't see it, but you can see that every time the Modron were testing it, you could see where the limits of the bounds of it were. but it's just an immovable, invisible, cube-shaped prison that these kids have used in an inverted way as protection rather than as a way of keeping themselves imprisoned. They're using it as a shield. And it's magic that I think you all are really well aware that these kids probably don't know very well. It's probably beyond their real capabilities. It's probably not gonna live up to the normal expectations for this spell.
Yeah, but she's just not gonna do anything right now because she doesn't know what to do, because Jessica doesn't know what to do either.
Okay.
So she's just waiting and watching to figure out what she's supposed to do.
Okay.
And waiting and watching with you are these two kids.
I guess I'm gonna hold... I'll hold a firebolt in case a Slaad gets too close.
Okay. Yeah. So you can be holding that. That won't put you into combat order, but if something happens, we'll bring that up. Otherwise, I'm going to keep skipping you in combat order until you're ready. Okay. You can see that the formation is getting much more ragged. Those Slaadi that had gone within the sides are starting to pull back a little bit. Being torn up so much is not good for anybody's constitution. Plus, they're also taking all the blows from the Modron, which were concentrating their fire on that opening. And you can see a couple of the blue Slaadi have fallen from that area. The red seems to be much more robust against all the combination of things, and so they've pulled back out of the cloud of daggers a bit. And as they pull back, the Modron continue to maintain that their line and not pushing into it. The wall, Gus, continues to provide a different barrier, and you can see that additional Slaadi are pushing up against it as you've created it so that it bisected their line, and it forces them to have to go through it. So the ones that are pulling back are going through your wall. What happens to them?
Modron?
As they cross the rainbow.
Wait. So the way I envisioned it was there was, like, we were standing here, there was Modron in a line in front of us with the cloud of daggers in the middle. I put so you're saying there's other ones deeper into the room that are trying to withdraw. Okay. As long as they don't stop in it, they don't take any damage. So like, they can pass through it at will. They just can't stop in it.
Okay, let me just roll a dice here. 3 of the Slaadi stay within the wall, looking around like gaping idiots. Because what does a chaotic creature do?
Shiny light.
Exactly. What would a Lua do?
Hey!
Not Lua, Larissa. What would a Larissa do?
Says the ruler of all chaos goblins.
Oh no, it would be like more than 3 if it was me.
Yay!
I'd be like, hey, everybody come over here. I don't need to tell you why. Come here. I want you to smell this.
That's so you when we play games. Oh my god, it's the worst.
Okay, so yeah, you're there in this space, and these 3 are getting affected by the wall. I don't remember, is there a higher level that it hits, or is it just the same damage?
Same. I don't know if I need to roll it again, maybe. If it's a different turn.
You can use the same damage if you want.
It's 48, so I can just roll it again.
Yeah.
If you need me to. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, they get hit by it, and you see them kind of like jerk, contort a little bit, and then one of them just cackles manically. That takes us back up to Alua. It is your turn.
I'm going to pick the nearest... Actually, I'm going to pick any of the Slaad that are still in the Cloud of Daggers. And I'm going to cast Raulotham Psychic Lance.
Okay.
And can you tell me if they're red or blue?
They are red.
Okay.
The blue ones have not been doing so well, and they were the first to pull out. You can see that the red are quickly going to be following, but...
And I'm just gonna say something along the lines of, "You're the wrong color red. Let me show you what color red you should be." Okay. And that's 20 points of damage. And I think they need to make a 15 intelligence save. Yeah.
An intelligence save?
Mm-hmm. Must make an intelligence saving throw.
A 15? Yeah, they take the full damage.
And they are incapacitated until the start of my next turn.
Yeah. I think you have your pathway.
You think, or yes, there is everything that is within the cloud of daggers is dead.
It's not dead, but it's incapacitated. It can't take actions or reactions. So there is if you dropped the cloud of daggers, the kids could run through right now. For your next turn.
Okay. Then I am going to do that. And as a free action, I'm going to yell, or I'm going to message, because I don't know if I can, because the kids are across the way. Instead of yelling and alerting them, I'm just going to message at them and go, "No!"
Sure, we can
drop it.
That. It might be technically something that you shouldn't be able to do, but yeah, well, but I think it's light enough and fun enough.
Well,
but no, it's fine. I think
I can. I think I can. Right?
You just cast a spell.
Right.
Lance.
And then bonus action, cast a.
It has to be a bonus action spell.
Oh, right.
Bonus
okay.
Action, but I think
you know what?
How you're doing it.
It's fine.
It's
Never
good
mind.
Flavor for, like, get them to go, make them run. Seraphina. In this moment, you see that the pathway has become clear, and the two kids to either side of you are looking at you very anxiously. You can see that there's a pathway that could be clear. As Alua, I'm guessing you're doing this, so you drop the cloud of daggers. So the pathway is clear?
Yes.
The pathway is clear.
Yeah, as soon as she drops the cloud of daggers, I would tell the kids to tell them to run.
Okay, would you do anything in that moment?
I don't have, like... No. I don't know.
Okay. Then, Gus, it is your turn before it is their turn.
I'm going to do the thing with where the wall of light shoots a bolt of light, which I totally have up in front of me because I'm really well prepared.
Yeah, I can see that you're like totally on it. This is where we cut again.
Okay, so same thing. I'm gonna shoot whichever one is like closest to where the kids will run.
Beautiful. Just like covering fire.
8,
and remember,
10,
this is
12,
all happening pretty much in sync. Like the moment Alua dropped the cloud of daggers and started shouting, Gus is casting this or manipulating the wall to cast this spell. So it's all just happening in this one singular moment here.
21.
You just see these two red ones.
Oh, wait, sorry. I didn't roll the ranged spell attack. My bad, I could have missed. Hang on. I just rolled the damage, just assuming I would hit, because apparently I'm cocky. 16?
Yeah, that still hits.
Okay.
You just see these flailing in the beam of light. What was the damage?
21.
Yeah, there's just like this. Those of you who've had fried frog legs, you can smell the tenderness in this moment.
No.
And
something smells like chicken.
And they're just that moment in those gifs where the frog's bones show through the skin. These salamander-esque creatures getting cooked alive. Any movement or bonus action or anything?
Nope.
Okay. Actually, that is a bonus action, isn't it? Making your wall work.
No, it's an action. Beam of Radiance.
Cool. And that takes us to Modron push back. One huge push. And you can't tell if they're assisting you or if they're just taking advantage of the messiness of the Slaadi's attacks as all these various things happen.
I want to use my bonus action to tell the robot that I've been communicating with to not tell his people not to stop inside the light.
Yeah. As they push back, you can see that several of the Slaadi are shoved into that wall. And then you all can
17. No, wait, no. 23.
Beautiful.
For that round of boom.
You can see the force cage seems to evaporate in this moment. And Seraphina, you hear, now? I just gotta go. And even you've said yeah, and you've said it after 4 magic missiles fly from your left side and 4 more fly from your right side, bashing into the front lines of the Slaadi, continuing to create chaos and damage in that space. I think that helps. And then you see the first of the kids running through. Their face is blackened by soot, by who knows what, by just malnutrition and not being cared for for a little bit. And then another one, and pretty soon you're seeing 12 very young children running through, and then 3 older children, 3 of the mage kids running behind them. And the last one runs up to you, Seraphina, as the person that they had kind of mostly focused on early on. And they say, I don't think he's going to make it.
Who?
Frankie, he said he was going to hold them off.
Where is he?
As you say, where is he? You feel the pulse of magic, and a huge explosion rocks the back of the space. And you know that somebody cast a spell that was well beyond their capabilities. In that temporary silence after that, the Modron continue to push and fight. The Slaadi continue to push and fight. But I think you're all aware that one of these underqualified kids just cast magic so far beyond their abilities that it consumed them. And with that, we will take a lovely siesta and see you all again next session. Probability of Demise. The most lighthearted, wonderful thing that didn't kill any of the party members ever. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you have a wonderful time. Please like, subscribe, and leave all the wonderful comments below. I'm sure that Gus, Seraphina, and Alua are really, really solid people who appreciate those. And every time you don't do that, they just lose a hit point. So it's all on you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.